Just want to make sure this seat's in the right area, that the cup is entirely closing the hole. That is just perfect. Okay, there's a good close-up view of the wear on our turbo actuator rod, and that would cause a rattle noise or maybe a little bit of problem with boost control. But I have another one here, and this one is perfect. It's off a core turbo, and although I think this worn one is entirely fixable, I could grind that off, machine a pin to replace this with, and put a new pin in there and weld it in. For now, I just got to get this customer's car done, so I'm going to use this one. Okay, I brought the welder over in order to weld this lever onto the wastegate. I put these vice grips here in order to not only hold the wastegate upwards, but it's kind of holding it inwards where it's seated against the cup. And unfortunately, even with this new used wastegate, there's still a lot of slop here in the hole where that pins through, so we're definitely going to have to use an anti-rattle clip. But you don't want to weld this up here. Remember, before we took it apart, I noted that this lever was basically flush with the surface here, and so that is not quite flush. It's a little bit of an angle this direction. So what I'm going to do is, of course, take this out and turn this a degree or two that direction. And that's going to preload the wastegate closed with the spring that's inside the wastegate pod. I want to call it a vacuum pod, but it actually takes pressure, I believe. So I'm also making this adjustable, so we can adjust that maybe a little bit in the car. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it, right there. Now, I wish I had a nice TIG welder to put a nice, beautiful TIG weld across there, but I do not. I just have a MIG welder. I could take it to a welder, but the COVID crisis is going on, and I'm not sure they'd be enough, so I'm going to just weld it with my MIG welder. And of course, the adjustment in here will be able to compensate for any minor inaccuracies in my placement. Okay, I just realized I didn't hit record. Son of a gun. But you can see there I put 2 tacks on it, and I'm going to leave it there for now, and I might grind that a little bit to make sure it's kind of pretty. But let's check our in clearance. Let's hook that up there and check our preload. Okay, the spring inside the pod is preloading the gate closed. So let's take a look at the gate pod on there. I can't really move that. Maybe I can just a bit with my finger pressure. So maybe I should have went a little bit firmer to keep that from being able to rotate. But as I said, I'm going to make it adjustable, so we'll tighten it up just a little bit with the adjustment after we do that. I've completed the fabrication of an adjustable rod here, and I'm putting a little bit of the anti-seize lubricant on there, so hopefully if this ever does need to be adjusted, it'll be free enough to actually do so. Now what you want when you're doing this is you want this preloaded. So I just adjusted it to where there is no preload, but let me turn it around a few times to where there is. Ran good?
Yep. Matched perfectly.
Can you want to take that to lunch?
What? Well, I mean, I drove on the highway and took it away. I mean, I can. I just, I want to drive my car.
Now, why do you want to drive your car?
Well, I don't know. It's fast and fun and loud. Everything a car should be. So you'll hear it. I'm sure you'll hear it on video. All the way from all the way over there.
Cortland got a tune on his car a while back, and it's got the crack. He's got a 1.8T Jetta. It's actually a GLI. I'm sorry. He wants everybody to know his car's special. It's a GLI, not a Jetta. And so he's already broke it with his tune. He's out hot rodding, and he ends up going 50 mile an hour over a set of railroad tracks and busted his transmission. Had to replace the trans, and then he busted the oil pan. He's trying to show off the crackle tune right now. He's revving the engine. There it was. I'm going to tighten that last one after I have it on there. At this point, you want to pull out on the actuator, let it slide through, and then that's preloading the wastegate inwards. And I think other than putting some more weld on this, that completes our repair. If we put it in the car and it ain't sealing well enough, we can adjust this a little bit more, but I like the preload I have on it now. Let me get the clip installed. What we have here is a Jesus clip installer. Can't get any easier than that. Cortland has this turbo out. We're going to throw it on the bench, see if we can repair it. Now I'm going to finish up welding the rod off camera, and I'm going to do some cleaning because we obviously have some it's been laying around. We don't want any stray contaminants ended up in the turbo. We're going to blow it out both directions through here, through the intake and stuff, and then I'm going to have Cortland install it, and we'll take some graphs as we drive it, and I think this is going to be a good fix. Okay, Cortland got our turbo reinstalled on our Tiguan, and I've road tested it, and I want to show you some graphs. Okay, so here's the first graph, and you can see here within like 2.5 graticules the boost comes all the way up to desired, and it follows desired very closely, almost exactly, and then I back out of the throttle. That's good boost control. I have another one here. As I said before, this usually would have a boost problem worse at light acceleration, and I'm going to pull up one of the older graphs and show you why I think that, but this is at light acceleration, and you see boost comes right up within almost 2 graticules here to desired, and it's under good control the whole time, and I back out of the throttle. This one, I I believe this was at wide open throttle. I was cruising along and then I coasted for just a bit and then I floored it. You can see the RPM comes up very, very quickly, and boost comes way up, overshoots just a little bit, and this little dip here, I assume this dip was in all the graphs before, so I assume that's a control, a normal thing with control. But you see it comes under control right away, stays right along with desired the whole time, and then I back out of the throttle, of course. But definitely wide open throttle's good. And the last one, this one I was trying to stair step, so I gave it a little bit of gas, putting it into boost, and then here I gave it more, putting it into higher boost. And you can see the computer is able to, first of all, the wastegate's able to take boost up to desired, computer's able to control it each time, and there's that little dip again. I think that dip's normal operation. But let me show you why I think the car was better at wide open throttle than it was at light throttle. There's a light throttle, and you can see I was trying to stair step that one. You can see actual never meets desired. And then that's another light throttle one, and you can see it never builds boost, and you know what I mean. And this one I was giving it a little bit more, giving it the beans a little bit. It takes a long time for it to build up, but then it actually does meet desired there for just a little while, and then there's that dip that I think is kind of normal, and then it runs very, very close to desired. Can't hardly see that. Let me move over here. Runs very close to desired, but not actually at desired. But, and this last one is wide open throttle. And you see this one, it doesn't go up quite as fast as I would like. It isn't able to overshoot, but it is able to control boost. That's almost a good graph. And why? This is because it's at wide open throttle, and the reason why is because at wide open throttle there is a significant amount of exhaust pressure behind the turbine, and at wide open throttle it's enough to overcome the leak at the wastegate. So it makes perfect sense that this scenario of having good boost at wide open throttle but yet lacking boost at lower throttle points to the wastegate being loose like that, because at wide open throttle there is a significant more amount of volume of turbine pressure or exhaust pressure pushing against the turbine, and so it can overcome the leak of that wastegate being loose or partially opened, as we demonstrated earlier. Okay, this has been the funnest repair on this Tiguan that I've done in a long time. It was technically challenging, it was rewarding, and we fixed a neat problem. Now, these turbos have been doing this for a long time. You can watch other people's videos, and they show these wastegates being worn, and in every one of those videos, those people are getting new turbos. Now, I do know that there were some people that were adding helper springs to the actuator in order to keep that wastegate closed, and I even attempted doing that on some of them, but it's just in such a tight area you almost have to remove the turbo in order to try and add a helper spring or to make any type of improvised modification to fix it. But this is absolutely a fantastic repair. I had planned for years to, because this problem's been ongoing for a while. Our first turbo that we ever replaced for this problem we probably did 2 years ago, and for years I've been thinking about trying to manufacture my own bushing because I have a mill and a lathe. But when those parts became available, obviously those parts are a good fix for these turbos, and honestly I'm pretty sure, based on not putting a turbo in this car, that I saved this customer $1,000 over the cost of a turbo installed by doing this repair. That makes me on an incredible high. and I would love to do this repair for everybody in the nation who needs it. So if you need this repair, pull your turbo off and send it to me. You can find my email on my website at www.kansascitytdi.com. One other comment I'd like to make. If you're going to a mechanic and he's willing to sell you a turbo, and then he sells the next guy a turbo, and then he sells the next guy a turbo, and he's unconcerned with you spending $1,700 on a turbo, or if you're at the dealership, let's just say $2,500 or $3,000, because you know they're outrageous. But if he's willing to sell you a turbo every time and never willing to do any type of repair, never willing to try a repair, never willing to do due diligence to try and find you an economical repair, then you're going to the wrong mechanic. An honest mechanic is going to try and find you an economical repair, and that benefits him because he can keep your car on the road longer. You're going to continue to bring it to him for shocks and brakes and tires and oil changes, and we don't do tires here. And he's happy with you because you can provide him with a reliable car again for a reasonable cost. So if you're out there, drive to my shop. And if you want to financially donate to the continued production of these videos, visit my website at www.kansascitytdi.com and find the donate icon. If you want to see another video on a Tiguan, click that link right there. And here's another video you might find interesting. And don't forget to subscribe.